Just surrounded by booze currently. This is my booze corner. These little skulls are full of tequila.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, fair
This
enough.
bigger skull is full of vodka.
What's that really big skull full of?
Money.
Oh, okay, fair
I just
enough.
put it all together. That's to fund more booze.
Yeah.
Do you see my Satan tequila quickly before we carry on recording?
Go on.
Satan tequila!
Cool. Does the bottle look cool? Or is it just a normal black bottle? No, it's not bad. It's got, yeah.
Also, the
Got
pups
Kross.
in this box come out.
It's got actual wings. That's ridiculous. When you finish,
Nice.
when you finish the bottle, does that Satan thing just fly off?
No, you die.
Oh, cool. Well,
Satan tequila, when you have the last drop of it, that's the end for you.
that's it. You're done.
It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time.
Hello and welcome to the 25th ever episode of the A Wonderful Waste of Time podcast.
Do you want to hear a cool fact about 25?
Go for it. You keep bringing up these wonderful number facts. They
Because-
always go well.
Well, it's a quarter century.
Wow.
There you go.
That was the fact, was it?
It's a cool fact. Like, we're quarter of the way to 100.
Yes. If this was if we brought these out yearly,
No. Like,
would be a quarter of a century.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, the number itself, like, it's a quarter of 100.
Everyone refers to 100 as a century.
Well, okay, you don't obviously refer to it in years all the time. I'm just
Why are
saying.
centurions called centurions? Is it because they're like 100% good at their job?
No.
They're like the best soldiers. They're like 100% top-notch soldiers.
Maybe there's just 100
centurions.
of them. Maybe there's just 100 of them.
Oh, that's a good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like 300, but less of them, and
No,
not a
yeah.
shit film.
Just 100.
I'm Kross Traylai, and with me as always is
Your maths champion, SG.
Math Champion, of course. Who wouldn't describe you as such? An English champion because of the feud.
What?
Maths and English, they're always against each other.
Wouldn't it be maths and language?
English is essentially a language class.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
One specific language.
you know, there's more languages than English. Typical British guy. Fucking hell.
And which did you study at school? And
I'm
where
French
did
as
you
well,
study
and
school?
Spanish. I've done French and
Yeah,
Spanish.
but that's not really. That's its own separate thing. That's learning a language. Maths
So
and
what's
English.
English then?
Maths and English is considered like core subjects.
Well, I think it's core to the development of man to learn more than one language.
I agree,
Yeah.
but that's not what we're fucking talking about.
No, what are we talking about?
I was making a joke about there being a feud between maths and English, and then you were a dick about it.
Okay. Well,
Who are you?
Maybe your joke's
But who are you, dick about it?
Dick about it. It's not a bad name, you know, if you like.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, have I not done that yet?
No.
Oh, SG.
There we go.
Cool.
Right. Took so
SG.
long to get to those two fucking syllables.
I know, but it's worth the wait.
Great.
It's one of those things you're like, who is he?
Yeah, I'm
Who's
sure
he? Who's
everyone was on the edge of
he?
their
Edge of the
seat.
seat. Edge of the seat. And I can hear the seats edging now because I can hear into the future.
You can hear into the edge of the future. Are those the words you've just spoken?
No, I said I can hear the edge of their seat because I can hear into the future. And you know what? I can hear into the edge of the future.
Hear into the edge of the future.
that we've
The edge of
redefined.
tomorrow with
No.
Tom Cruise.
No, I don't want to be anywhere with Tom Cruise.
Redefining the edge of the box.
Yes. We're redefining
Hearing the edge of the future.
Yeah.
We're a lot about edge. We're a very edgy
We're edgy.
show.
Yeah, very edgy.
A couple of edgelords.
That's why it's such an educational show.
Yeah, that's how we get away with it. We're not educational, we're educational.
That's terrible.
This is the show where we look a little bit deeper into the things we like, love, and hate. So we pick a topic based on some form of entertainment or media that we enjoy, and then we look into why that's good or why it's bad, or even if we like it, what was bad about it. It could be anything. We just explain a little bit as to why things should be better than it is, what you can take away from something.
How to make it edgier.
Edgier, educational.
Educational.
So the way that we do that is we spin a wheel to decide which of us is talking about a topic. Then we spin a second wheel to decide the topic we're talking about. 2 wheels.
Dizzy.
Edgy as fuck.
Dizziness is that's what that is.
Should we spin the first wheel?
Go
And
on.
you can make some edgy sounds.
How do you edge?
You can tell me what you hear at the edge of time or whatever the fuck you said earlier.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot.
Go.
Can I just make edge noises?
Yeah, go for it. Oh. Like soaring noises.
These are all different edges. You know when you slice
Soar
over an
the
edge?
I'm going to stop it there because it's annoying. You're going first.
Oh,
Let's
fuck
hope your
off.
topic isn't edges.
Oh no.
And let's spin the second wheel to find out what it is you're going to be talking about.
Go on.
Go. Oh, you like wiping them down? Because it does still just sound like you're sawing edges. Stop. Films.
Damn. Yay! So,
What have you got for me?
well, I mean, I've talked about it so much. Like, I feel like I've basically covered this, right?
Alright, this depends what you're going to talk about, whether I'm going to taboo this as a subject.
It's going to be Matrix.
That's fine, as long as you don't talk anymore about Dan Brown. Fuck me, am I bored of Dan
Oh,
Brown?
how can you be bored of Dan Brown?
Because you won't shut the fuck up about it.
Oh, well, I was enjoying the book. I was like, I'm not reading a book anymore.
You
so
do
it's
seem to be
alright.
stuck in these 2 topics of Dan Brown and the Matrix.
Yes, this is what my life is.
Maybe go a little bit further away from that.
I
I swear you've already done the Matrix, haven't you?
That's what I'm thinking. If I've already done the Matrix, but I don't know if I've
think you
covered
actually
the
have
social
specifically
conditioning.
talking about
No, I
the
think I've just
Matrix.
it's brought up all the time. I just want to talk about how well it talks about social conditioning. That's all it was, and has a look at our, basically the structure of life. I feel like Matrix is a great example of what it wanted to do. But
Okay.
alright, fine.
No, if you want to do the Matrix, do the
No,
Matrix.
I
It's just
feel
you
like
brought it up so much.
Yeah.
It's becoming a Matrix and Dan Brown podcast on your end.
Well, I think that's what fandom's about.
No, it's not. Pick up some more varied things. The point of this is to talk about lots of different things.
Well, I was spoken about quite a few different things,
Or
but these are things
what we
that
could do is do the Matrix now and put it to bed.
well, you can't put the Matrix to bed, you see, because it's so embedded
Yes,
in
you
our.
can. Because
Well,
I'll put
it's
it on
so
DVD.
embedded.
I'll put it in a bed.
That's weird.
Then it's been put in a bed.
It's
Done with.
But to bed.
Put it
in
to
bed.
bed. I'm going to put the second film in bed. Then I've put it to
to
bed.
or get 2 beds and put them.
I've reloaded it to bed.
I'm so lost now.
Because the Matrix Reloaded.
I'm so lost. So lost.
That's what the second film
So
was
I
called,
can talk about Matrix, right?
if you must.
Cool. Right. So let's look at Matrix as a opener of social conditioning, right? So the whole basis of it is the extreme version of the world that we live in is basically structured for us. It's created. Everything that we know to be isn't real. In essence, and like we have to really look at this, like, because everything that we do, I think people have to understand that everything has been redefined for us. Everything that we know is a reference point from things that have come before and has been developed and kind of created to fit not the mass opinion or the mass kind of outlook on things on a specific. So we'll bring it back. This is going to be educational. It's going to be educational. So we'll bring it back to like the very
Bring it back to
start
the edge
of
of time.
In
Tell me
essence,
what you hear.
in essence, if we go back to the creation of language and culture, right? The only people that could read and write were extremely rich, prominent, either kings, queens, priests, and such.
Yeah.
And they created a set rules, set ways for people to live. Obviously, we don't live in that same kind of what's that word? There's a
Totalitarian.
yeah, we don't live in that kind of state anymore. So yeah, we don't live in what's the word again?
Totalitarianism.
There we go. Another big word, but obviously struggle with.
Totalitarianistic
Cool.
society.
Yeah, we don't live in
I
a
don't know if that is the right word,
totalitarianistic.
but that sounds right.
I just said the word and you just you'll find it there in the archives. So anyways, we don't live in that state, I guess, as heavily, but I think what Matrix really makes a good point of is obviously, again, using the very literal sense of being unplugged, is we are in a simulated world where everything is being created for us to experience certain things, and very much so in our own bubbles, you know, like everyone's got their own reality in that sense. So I like, a lot of films have tried to make this point, but I just like the way Matrix did it. I like the way they did it even to the very core of things, where Oracle makes a really good point about every program in the Matrix is designed to run the world. So they've got a program for the trees, they've got a program for nature, they've got, you know, that's how the world is run. Because we have, you know, beknownst to some people, but we do have agencies that look after certain things. Or let's use TV as an example. We've got censorships, you know, and then we've got people that will do like the ratings as well. So like they usually two different.
There's a lot more steps than it just being you turning on your TV.
Exactly. No one knows how filtered.
It's got to go through someone writing it. It's got to go through someone being willing to produce it. Broadcast rights, like you say, censorship and ratings to determine what time it's on, what time it's allowed to be on. The copyright of when it can be played, how often it can be played. And then what kind of system it's on, because it's not just TV, there's Freeview, and obviously like we have Sky and Virgin. I can't remember what the Americans have got. Like, it's got to go through a lot of steps before it's just on your TV, because the building blocks are already built up before that's happening. Which is what
it's an essential thing that there's this whole background filter that we don't see that creates our reality. And so that's the basis of why I think Matrix is really good. So like you've got the gatekeeper. He has the keys to open all the doors. He's like an anomaly. He is a program essentially that is created to be able to.
What he's called, isn't it? Gatekeeper?
Is it not?
Is it not the keymaker?
Keymaker, that's the one.
Yeah, right.
So the keymaker, and he's someone who's able to, in essence, break realities. He's able to jump from one reality to the other, right? Who would that be in real life? Okay, I'll come back to that one. Who that would be in real life?
It's if you considered it being like, so what you're saying essentially about the whole idea of things already being made. Essentially, every person that's born is put into a world that has already existed for the people before them, who've set it up to the way that they see the way things are. So every change that's made is something from the new people, but there's always going to be the older people that are against it and things like that. But you're essentially you're walking into someone else's house. Is essentially what life is. You're walking into someone else's house, looking at everyone, the decorations of the people that lived before you, and trying to change it, but someone's telling you you're not allowed. That is essentially what a lot of things are.
That's life. That's
so
beautiful. That's beautiful. You just put life in a. But I like.
In this case, the keymaker would be a decorator that you've hired.
That's good.
They're allowed to go into every room and try and change things. But they've kind of got to walk the line of what you've asked them to change. It's like you're renting a property. That's what it's like.
Cool.
You can only change things if your landlord lets you. That's better than council flat. It's like it's a rented house.
Our reality is very much rented, actually. And we do, to a lot of extents, have to find permissions to change things, right? Now, Neo he's the renegade. He is the, if we want to go revolutionary, talks. He's the Shay. He's the Martin. He's the
many people
Marcus.
refer to as Che Guevara by just Shay and not Guevara.
Well, okay.
Shay,
so, yeah. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, who else? When I say that, who else would you think of?
Most people would full name them.
Oh no! I'll go first names, man. My revolutionists went this tight, man.
Yeah, we're close.
Right? Malcolm, Martin, right? Yeah, Marcus, right? First name basis.
Who was Marcus? I don't know.
Marcus Garvey. Right. So, but anyways, these are people who have seen. So, in fact, I'm going to use Malcolm X.
So now you're getting all your friends confused.
Malcolm. I'm going to use Malcolm as an example, right? So he stepped out of his reality as Neo did, right? So he went to Africa to on a pilgrimage essentially to Mecca, right? And in this pilgrimage, he saw, you know, all different races, same as Neo, unplugged, and saw all of the different situations and how. Really good thing about the Matrix. There's one scene that I wanted to talk about. I'll get to that in a second, actually. But anyways, Neo's like seeing all the differences and how the world has been set up for him. And this is, the more he sees that, the more he's able to believe in his power to do what he can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The more he sees the world for what it is, the stronger you got, essentially.
Yeah, which is kind of like the idea of, in reality, seeing how other cultures work and seeing that people run things differently, so you can get ideas from all over the place of how things can be run, rather than just accepting things over the country you happen to have been plonked into.
Cool. Right, there we go. So we're just drawing the similarities.
Yeah, I'm gonna clarify.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to, because I talk coded, not in Morse, but you know.
It'd be a very difficult show to listen to.
Really?
Yeah, if everything was in Morse code.
Tap tap, tap tap tap. Okay. So anyways, so Malcolm, he's gone on a pilgrimage, he's seeing all the different races, and this enables him to come back and break the realities that, one, he was preaching, and two, everyone else was exposed to.
Yeah. Same
as Neo, seeing the way the world's worked, he's powerful, wants to release his people, so forth, right? The scene that I was talking about is, you remember the scene with the redhead woman? No, yeah, the woman in the red.
Woman in the red dress.
Yeah, woman
from
in
the
the red
first
dress.
film.
Yeah. That bit where
the distraction.
There we go. So it's something appealing.
Yeah.
It's something that he's used to.
Yeah.
But
so,
then,
to explain the scene to everyone else quickly.
Oh yeah.
The concept of it is that they run him through part of the program that is just normal city life, and everyone sort of blurs together because everyone's wearing black and white, and then this one attractive woman wearing a red dress comes through, and he automatically looks at her, but he doesn't notice something else because he's looking at her.
Yeah,
which is the whole idea, and I think it speaks about something else I'm always interested in, which I talk about a lot when I'm discussing film stuff, is the concept of contrast, which works in a visual sense, not just obviously in terms of the story and Neo watching the film, but as a viewer, you also look at her among the crowd because you've got dark colours everywhere and then this one bright colour. So
and
by contrast, that's the thing that you pay attention to.
Yeah, and even in that scene, she looks a lot lit up, like very bright makeup, and very
She's a lot brighter than everything else.
She's television, for me. You know, because remember when he turns around, it's an agent.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, for me, she's television. She's the thing that is given to us as a distraction, something appealing, something new, something fresh.
Certain television.
But, okay, not all television is, you know, it's got a dark side that wants to essentially rule you. But if we're talking about the entertainment business, not
as an actor, I wouldn't slag off television if I was you.
I'll slag off film as well. no, obviously.
As someone looking to work as part of the distraction.
Yeah, no, of course. Like, but this is what entertainment is. Entertainment
there are good distractions and bad distractions.
Of course, you can learn from distractions as well.
Yeah.
You know, you can grow from distractions.
Yeah.
But essentially, entertainment is a distraction.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, as the woman in red turns into Agent Smith, it can be dangerous. It can be something that basically wants to do bad things.
See, I always considered that as more of a point about like news rather than television. I always considered it more about like if I was to describe it as something currently now, it's like going on the front of English newspapers where it's like, look at Prince George, he put some clothes on and waved at a thing. Page 4, terrorism. And it's like, no, that's page 1.
Yeah.
It's like, bad things are happening. I don't give a shit about someone's child wearing clothes just because his parents are currently supposedly in charge.
Look at entertainment now, though. Don't you think that that's the same basis of it, where we've got shows like...
Well, I disagree with you in terms of that. I think a lot of television is art and has nothing to do with it. Some television is just pointless distractions and it's just filler that is just something to watch.
If you look at the mainstream, so if you look at, say,
but why
channel
specifically television?
1 to 5. More so because there's more content.
Why by the same degree of television, if you're saying like television is a distraction, is every painting a distraction because it's something pretty to look at?
I'm saying more so in terms of content. The amount of content that's put out. And also,
but then why isn't good television also art and not just a distraction?
Oh no, I'm not saying it can't be art, but it's okay. Maybe my perception
this
of
is not just
television.
because of you saying this. I disagree with this as a concept that people say in general. The idea that television is just
I don't think it's mindless drivel. That is just
it's definitely not that. That's not the point I was making, because that would be an incredibly ignorant thing to say.
Of course. Well,
I mean, in general, the idea that every form of that's the point of this podcast, is that entertainment isn't a distraction. Entertainment can be something to learn from.
So, but here's the point I'm trying to make. If we look back at the context of everything has been predetermined in a certain way, television, films as well, have a very, not all, but a lot have a very rigid process where stuff like stereotyping is used, and it's marketed a certain way, and it's not the very raw form of art that you can get from let's say a podcast where it's just two people having a conversation. That's very non-filtered entertainment.
Yeah.
Whereas the process, like we said with television, is there is a whole process to make sure that this particular thing is reaching this particular people, and a lot of that isn't because we want to educate them. It's because we want their money, or we want them to act and talk or live in a certain way.
Some amount of it is. I wouldn't say that it's entirely about that. I would say that even in like big things that make a lot of money, I don't think everyone involved is doing that. Game of Thrones I don't like Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is one of the biggest shows on television right now.
Yeah.
Producers and stuff like that are obviously involved in it to make money, and the people that wrote it, to some degree, want to get paid for the amount of art that they're making. But you cannot say that they're not making it because they don't want to show something, because they don't want to create something.
No, of course, no. But I mean, like, the creation aspect of it has to be there, but if we maybe
I think you're oversimplifying it. Is all I'm saying.
Well, no, because I'm looking more because I feel like the things that the Matrix kind of point to are more the corporate side of things. Like, I think when we're looking at things like television and we're looking at certain industries, there's an artistic side and there's a very corporate side.
Yeah.
And Matrix is more about the corporate. It's more about this rigid system that's been set up to basically fool you to think everything's all right, but essentially it's just a bunch of people who want to use you for their profit, which is what the Smiths want to do. They just want to use the human race. Most AI ends up being the AI wants to control the human race for their profit. To that's basics of it. That's the side I'm looking at. There's an artistic side, especially when we're talking about entertainment. There's an artistic side that shouldn't be ignored.
That's what I'm saying, is that you can say television. I would say that there's an aspect of that, and I'd say that there are specific shows that are just that.
Yeah.
So things like reality TV and stuff like that are entirely just to make profit. They're not trying to display anything in just showing you some idiots on camera.
But that's the type of product that would be in that Matrix umbrella, in that brainwashing umbrella.
No, I get that. I just I didn't like that you were just saying television.
Oh, yeah, okay. I definitely oversimplified it and just kind of had a general paintbrush, which I just wiped it all with. Yes, sorry, you wanted to keep it short and sweet for everyone. I just thought everyone would understand that art is art.
It still would have been short if you said some television.
Oh, yeah, some. Oh, no, of course. No, I wouldn't want to say all. But I do feel like they're very, like, let's say the Fox News Network, all right?
Yeah.
Or the Fox in general, right?
Yeah.
That's a big organisation that has been proven time and time again to have a very dangerous agenda.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Those kind of organisations that go out of their way to create a certain reality for people.
Yeah.
Those are the Mr. Smiths, Agent Smith, sorry, of, our reality, right? So
especially with something like that, because as you're saying, like, it's such a big company that it can have a news broadcast that makes people scared of a thing, and then promote television shows of fictional versions of that thing that have to do with it.
Yeah.
So essentially, by making you scared via the news, they can make you watch another television show that they're producing, which is incredibly fucked up.
It is, but this is like that's a really good way of kind of, that's what they do. That is literally like, so if you think, it's really bad, but if you think how many things have been related around terrorism after 9/11.
Yeah.
You know?
After. This is another thing as well. You notice with patterns of television show, in times of war, you don't make war programmes because war's happening and you don't want to watch it. You make comedy and stuff like that to give people the relief of it. In times of like terrorism and stuff like that, post the fact, you can make stuff about it because then it becomes like conspiracy and things like that.
Yeah. And but this is all down to that same kind of social conditioning thing. That and this is why I like The Matrix, where it doesn't just say, this is it. It gives it to you in a layer where you can look within it. You can, like, and this is a very big hip hop thing of, living in the Matrix, third high consciousness, and all of this kind of looking past the norm, like, or conspiracies as they come out as sometimes. But I think it's a really good point where I just really like Matrix for what it does for that, basically. And how so like the blue and the red pill. That analogy of kind of, do you want to
know too much? Is ignorance bliss?
Yeah.
That's essentially what that scene is.
That is literally that is what it is. It's like, you take this will be like a placebo.
You can know, but you're not going to be happy about it. It is kind of that balance of, do you want to be depressed and honest, or do you want to be happy and not know how fucked up everything around you is?
But I think that's like, the more I read up and say stuff like, okay, let's just say colonialism, for example, right? Now, the more you read up on colonialism, the more you understand people don't want you to know about colonialism.
Yeah, it's something with, like, all history, it's always going to be tailored to make... It's the thing of, if you are the one person that came out of a situation and you're the only person who can tell the story of what happened, and you have the option to make yourself look good, whether you mean to or not, you're probably going to some degree, make yourself sound good because you're only showing your side of it. With, like, history and stuff like that, people who win in wars are always going to make themselves sound like the hero so that they're justified.
History.
And it's the same thing with, like, colonialism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can always go, America, they upgraded things, they made things better. It was okay that they, like, killed Native Americans because there's cities now. It's like, well, America still had their own version of things before that. Like, they had their own culture and stuff like that that was destroyed. And a lot of things of going like, but the British were the bad people and they did that, and then we kicked them out. Like, no, you're the British people. You're just the ones that stayed there. So you're showing the version of you as heroes and justified. Which is kind of what I was saying before. It's like the people that come out on top tell their version of the story because they're the ones that you listen to. If to put it in like a really simple term, if you were to watch the Olympics and there'd be a race or something that happened and it wasn't documented, it wasn't filmed on TV, and you saw like this 100-metre sprint, and you had all these 10 people that were involved and you wanted to hear how the race went, which one of them are you going to like listen to? Like whose story are you going to go to? You're going to go to whoever won. Like, a 100-metre sprint, you're going to ask Usain Bolt, like, how did you win? You're not going to ask the guy that came last, how did you win? That's not going to be the bit that gets spread out. The person that's going to get the press is the person that won.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what that is.
No, fair enough. That is exactly what it is.
It's not a good thing.
Simply put, history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
Again, if I want to bring it all back to the Matrix, because I just want to put out there, this is my interpretation of the Matrix. I think it's still very closely linked to what they wanted to do, but there's a lot of ways to read something like that. There are a lot of angles that they've come about where the essential is being unplugged from the reality that we've been given, but people can read into it.
Seeing the world through new eyes is kind of the point of it.
So there's one last one I want to bring, and we've touched on this one before a little bit. Very loosely, which was, I misquoted it. Firstly, I called it Brain in the Vat, but the one I was talking about that time was Plato's Cave.
Yeah.
But Brain in the Vat, this is a direct link to what the Matrix is, and its whole basis is about, which is what philosophy is about, which is being a skeptic in a sense, being able to question what is real and what is what is here. Now, Brain in the Vat or Brain in the Jar, as it's called. It's just the simple philosophical, what's the word for them? Theory, I guess, in a sense, where it covers Hypothesis. That's the one. Thank you.
It's all right.
Good.
That's why I'm here, the big word man.
So you're accepting it now. I like it. But
I'll be referred to as the big word man. I don't mind that. That's a lovely compliment.
Exactly. It's showing your geniusness. How well read you are. So anyways.
Geniusness.
Yeah.
Not a word.
Not a word.
Just genius.
Should be a word.
Your genius.
Your
would
genius.
have been fine.
But geniusness is great.
I say we start a petition.
I say we just start using it. That's the beauty of this. You can just use the words you want and people will get it.
If enough people start using it, it becomes a word.
Yeah, that's what happened with YOLO. Actually, well, no, it's not really. Because YOLO is actually just it's an abbreviation anyways.
The dictionary wanted to be relevant again, so Merriam-Webster
I like
was
how...
like, we'll put in this word.
I like how the dictionary could ever feel irrelevant.
Because Merriam-Webster, which is the American dictionary company, still wants to be considered relevant.
But how you're a dictionary?
That's why they put in words like that.
But you can never be irrelevant.
Why else do you think they would put in something like that?
But you have all the words.
Why would selfie be considered an actual word in the dictionary?
Because
when it is just a shortening of self-portrait.
Because the human language evolves.
But it doesn't.
It does.
No, it does, but not words like that. That's not an evolution of words. That's just like bad slang that they put in just to go, look, we did a thing, remember, dictionaries, buy our ones. Don't buy the other dictionaries, buy our brand.
Oh, fucking old dictionaries, man. You can never
Dictionaries are still a business. This is what you were talking
about.
Yeah, no,
it is, exactly. This is literally it. But imagine.
The Oxford Dictionary, Merriam-Webster are still to make money, to just list words.
Yeah, and
still involves money.
But anyways, brain in the vat is the basic concept of it is if we imagine, and Elon Musk makes
Elon.
That's what I said, right?
You said Elon.
Oh, Elon.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk. He makes a really good because he's got a new. He's been recently coming out saying.
That's my God.
Jesus.
Do you not remember that's what we said before?
Oh, right. All right, cool.
This is my version of God.
Last week. Well, he had this whole thing about he feels that we could possibly, there's a really high chance that we are living in a simulation, right?
I've read this article.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's really, and it gives really good points for it. But Brain in the Vat is basically a simplified version of that, whereas if we imagine that we don't have a body, that all we are is a simple brain. And every single one of our experiences is just electric impulses, which is being programmed by someone else. We don't know who's programmed it.
Yeah,
we just
you can't possibly know whether that's true or not.
Yeah,
and it's the same idea as solipsism as well, which is the idea that you're the only thing that exists.
Ah, yeah,
and that everything else, even if it's talking to you and agreeing with you or being against you, is your idea of it. Is because you need something to be on your side or against you. Solipsism, it's called.
Can you be a solipsist?
You can.
I'm a solipsist.
That's what I used to write as my religion on
Facebook
that's
and sick,
stuff.
Man. That's
the idea. You don't know that anything exists outside of your own perception of things. So how can you have proof of it? You've just got to enjoy the fact that it is. That there's a diversity of existence. Yeah. Whether it's in your mind or not, because otherwise you just go fucking mental.
That's I'm leaving it as that. I
think that is the point of Brain in a Vat. Elon Musk's point of like maybe we are all in a simulation. Yeah. I think there are some things where you've got to question them and you've got to look into them, and knowledge is a great thing, but there are some things that you've just got to leave the fuck alone because you couldn't function to do anything else. Yeah, if something is so big that you can't do anything about it, don't bother. You should do something else.
Wow, that's not what I was gonna say.
That's like but do you not agree that if solipsism is true and you're the only thing that exists, if I'm the only thing that exists right now, you're a figment of my imagination. I am recording something for no one to listen to because everyone in existence is just in my head. Yeah. Why not just enjoy doing it if I enjoy doing it?
Yeah, not for that.
Why should I go into it and question everything?
So say you're living in your
I'm into
reality.
something that big. I mean, most other things definitely question them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, but like
something to that degree of where there's a paradox involved in it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing that I always have as a logical like fault for if I get like weirdly obsessed with something. I literally stay awake at night overthinking things sometimes. Yeah. If something has like a logical fallacy or a paradox within it, just move on because it's not worth it.
If there's
something where you start going to the point of like, well, if that thing didn't exist, I wouldn't be here questioning it in the first place. Move on, because
Wow.
you're not going to get anything out of it.
Interesting. You don't think?
No, with some things, not everything.
Yeah.
But there are
Yeah.
some things where it's like the only reason why I'm questioning this is because it happened.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
shouldn't be
yeah.
looking into why it happens. I should be looking at how it can be used and why I
Yeah,
can change
okay,
it.
okay.
Not the why of it. I think
Yeah.
it's the same thing of life. It's a great thing to have people thinking, why are we here and stuff like that. But I think for me personally, I don't give a fuck why I'm here.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
here
I
now.
should just try and do something with the fact that I'm here.
Cool. Yeah.
That's the thing to put. I
Cool.
can. If I didn't exist, I wouldn't be questioning why I exist. So just move on and try and do something with the existence.
So would you, with that mind frame,
Personally,
would you? Yeah,
do
but
what you
would
want.
you take the blue or the red pill?
That's different though, because that's ultimately an answered question.
Well, no, that's not
not the same
but that's
thing
not,
as
that's
life,
not
is
giving
it?
you. That's not giving you. So the red pill isn't giving you the answers.
Yeah,
It's giving you. Say it's giving you a whole volume of books
Yeah.
to find the answers within.
but that's just giving you knowledge.
In a
If
sense.
the question was, if it was one pill and there
Yeah.
weren't two pills, and the question was either you're going to find out everything or this is going to kill you.
That's a bit drastic, man. You're gonna find
No,
out.
but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
That's what
Oh,
solar
okay, so
pillism
either
is.
know
That's what the
everything or
idea
know-
of
okay.
your existence is. It's either you might find out a load of nothing, or it might just be the end of everything. You could spend your whole life trying to figure out why you exist and never finding it out, or you could try and do something with your existence. You can either take the pill that lets you know about the Matrix, or you
Yeah.
can just cease to exist.
Well, okay, that's a bit extreme.
Then what would you do?
Yeah, that's a
Wouldn't
bit
you?
extreme.
Would you not more likely to just live in the existence? Whereas if it was the choice between living in the regular existence or finding out more, then of course you're going to try and find out more.
You say, of course,
I would
but
definitely.
So you're, okay,
No, I definitely would. I
Okay.
would do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
I would definitely try and find it. If somebody told me that everything I know is fake and there's another version of things,
yeah,
I would still try and find out the other version of things.
cool. So when people,
Because it's a different existence.
so how do you tackle conspiracies, like a conspiracy theorist?
Well, I try and use logical reasoning in general.
But where's the logic between in the Matrix where you take a pill and remember the logic being you are plugged in a simulation?
Yeah. But if that was explained to me as this isn't real, you're unplugged from a simulation, then I go, yeah, that's a logical idea. If they said, if you take this pill, you'll turn into a flying giraffe, I'd be like, that makes no sense to me. Because those two things don't seem connected.
Wait, the way he
Whereas
sold it,
the
the way
idea
he sold
that
it
brain
was
in a
it-
vat,
Yeah.
that's logical.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. There's a logic. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool.
So you have to use your own reasoning. You can't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything
yeah.
other than use.
No, that's fair.
Logic.
That's fair. Yeah. Because I was just thinking, like, just with regards to there has been conspiracy theorists who, and this is another thing. This is the vehicle of the Matrix. I sound like one of them right now, don't I? This is a vehicle of the Matrix, but it is a vehicle of the Matrix where certain people who are presenting us with truths, who are trying to give us the red pill,
Yeah.
are being basically, because they're going against this
Yeah.
predetermined agenda,
Yeah.
they're being presented to us as, you know, nutcases,
Yeah.
as.
But you have to go up until the point that they can prove it.
But
How can you just
can't-
go along with
but
something
how
if
can
it's
you-
completely illogical?
But how can you prove? So again, how could you prove the Matrix exists unless you literally took that pill and immersed yourself? You took yourself out of that.
You can't. You have to have
You
some
have to
trust
literally
into it.
Exactly.
But if it was logical, then you're more likely to go along with
Yeah,
it.
well,
if any
this-
conspiracy theory could give me a genuine idea that I was like, that sounds believable,
So
then I'd have more
You're telling
inclination to believe
you're
it.
telling me it's not logical that the royal family are a bunch of reptiles.
That came through a portal on the back of the moon.
Yeah.
Well, I totally believe that. Clearly,
could you,
we've been paying attention to David Icke together.
the Rothschilds.
Is it David Icke or Robin Icke? I can't remember his name.
I
It's David
I
Icke.
don't care about his
I think
name.
it's
actually.
David Icke.
Cool. And did you not know the Rothschilds are vampires? They drink the blood of children.
See, it's
Okay,
things
so
like
now it
this,
sounds crazy.
There's no
It sounds-
logic.
Hold up, but here's
to
a lot.
it.
Let me give you the logic behind that. So that sounds crazy, and
No,
I'm not a
because
big
If
believer
you
in this.
nitpick
But
all of the details of it, there is not logic to it. You're going back to the David Icke thing of there being a portal on the other side of the moon. The moon moves.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit.
There is no back
That's
of the moon.
bullshit. Okay, the reptile thing is just crazy, but the vampire thing also crazy, but quite interesting because a vampire essentially is just people like you drink the blood. You don't have to have fangs. You don't have to. So really interesting conspiracy on that or theory on that being that. A lot of so one of them's already had one of the Rothschilds had 4 heart transplants, which is crazy in any essence, and that's a true thing. If
you got the money to do it,
yeah, but that's crazy. That's mental.
Crazy, but that's logically believable compared to vampires.
But not vampires, but people who would drink the blood of younger people, believing that this younger blood will give them.
Yeah, no, that's believable.
Okay,
but the idea that they're vampires is not believable
vampires.
compared to the idea that someone would be stupid enough to think that drinking someone's blood, which has no logical sense to it, would be a thing that people do. But I would argue to the whole vampire thing that it's the other way around because people like that inspired vampires, not vampires.
No, of course.
That's where the concept of vampires comes from.
Was it not Vlad the Impaler?
That was part of it. But the idea that powerful people who would take the lives of people and have slaves and stuff like that. That's where vampirism comes from. Werewolves come from people who... comes from lunacy, which is people who stared at the moon and went insane and would attack people. Really that's what a werewolf is.
Yeah. But...
Because there's a lot...
But I think, okay, so with that...
We need to wrap up, but I have
definitely. No, but with that, so on that conspiracy, actually, I'm going to just touch on that conspiracy. I think it's believable. And I think, again, like anything, to unplug, it takes a certain amount of faith in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying, the lizard thing's crazy, but I would definitely believe that in a family where someone is literally being ill enough to have 4 heart transplants, that they would do something as crazy as drinking blood to extend their life.
Now, I would believe that someone would be stupid enough to do that.
Yeah.
There are people that do that. There's documentaries about people who think that they're vampires and drink each other's blood and stuff like that. So I would not put it past the idea that someone who's rich enough to just get blood by the click of their fingers would drink blood just to see if that worked.
These people could
I would not put that past. But I would say also, the thing that I wanted to go back to is that you can always go bigger in terms of philosophical questions of that nature. You say about which of the pills would you take, there's always a bigger step than that. Because what if Morpheus didn't know which pill was which?
How could he not?
What if there was someone who gave Morpheus the pills
my God.
and told him that the wrong pill was the wrong thing? There's always a step beyond it.
Yeah.
There's always... What if the pills did do what he tells you that they do, but the person who gave him the pills told him the wrong one did the wrong thing?
Yeah.
There's always a step past... If you talk about anything like this, there's always a step beyond it. So there's always an infinite way of questioning things
of course,
to the point where it becomes redundant.
Well, no, I don't think there's redundancy in being able to question it.
There is.
Well,
because if you just keep going and questioning things, you should always keep questioning things, definitely. Yeah. But if you just keep questioning it for the sake of questioning it, then it's redundant. If you're questioning for the sake of asking a question, then it's redundant.
Oh, man.
If you're questioning it because you want to find something out, then it's worth questioning.
Well,
if you're questioning it because you've been told to question everything, then it's redundant.
But that's literally, I think that's one of the biggest things about philosophy, is it's being a skeptic.
This is like my whole thing of the Illuminati thing. The idea that the Illuminati is so popularised, clearly the Illuminati is easily a cover-up for something real.
Yeah.
Why would you not put out this fake version of a cult to make people pay attention to that cult?
You know what, though?
While having an actual cult.
Well, no, it's real.
That's what I would do. If I ran a cult, I would tell everyone that everyone else was in a cult.
Yeah.
So that my cult was the logical choice of cults. Mine's the good cult. Mine's not even a cult, it's a religion, because I've got all this proof.
Oh, is this the book?
This is my plan.
Seen? But no, I'm trying to say, because this is our religion stuff.
Oh, this is the book these are the gold plates that I kept in the hat, and then the angel. I went to see Book of Mormon a couple of weeks ago. For my birthday, it was very good.
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
Definitely worth seeing.
Yeah, decent, cool. But anyways,
I think we
Matrix isn't the only one that does it though. There are other films that kind of really pay.
Tree of Life is a good one. That's quite interesting.
Cool. Which is it?
Hugh Jackman. in it.
Cool.
We really need to wrap this up.
Yeah, cool. No, that's it. I was okay. That's basically it. That's just like, I think more people should question the realities that we live in.
To be fair, I think there's enough to question this. We could do a whole episode on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to just carry on?
What?
For another quarter of an hour? What? We've done 2/3 of the podcast.
Oh no, I mean, like, I've
Let's
covered
do a
it. That's
bumper
basically...
Matrix special to put it to bed, because there are definitely more things that you can question.
Okay,
and there are definitely more points about the Matrix that I think
they are
interesting.
really, really interesting ones. Really
it
interesting
is
ones.
the fact that you try and bring it up too much. Is my
okay. Cool. After this, I'll tone it down with Matrix, right? So
bring it up.
Let's bring. Okay, so
it can be.
This is going to be so cool. This is so cool then. Right, so let's go
bumper
for it,
Matrix
because there's two characters that I really, really find interesting. Apart from the Keymaker. Keymaker's the main one, because I thought he was he's a transitional character, and he represents quite a lot for what life can be, right?
Yeah.
But the vampires, right? Do you know the two ghosts that go through
twins?
The twins. They're now, this is why they're interesting, because they, from my understanding of the film, from when I watched the film, they seem to be less so a product of the Matrix, but more so a product of the humans trapped in the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know, so they are the myths. They are the stories that we heard as kids that were never real.
Yeah.
But they have now been given an embodiment. Now
they're Robin Hood. They're like
they're evil. They're evil. So
no, I know, but it's the same thing of, it's something that's such a grand idea that's universally accepted to the point where you do question whether there's some realism.
If some realism into it, yeah, exactly that. Which is actually, I think we did cover it a little bit, because when we talked about vampires, they all, the origins of that was,
whether
like you said,
whether there is something can be lied. You can lie to someone enough that it's universally accepted,
and it becomes an actual entity.
And then it can easily become the other way around. The conspiracy theory can be the thing that is the truth, and everything else is the lie.
Right, so
that's what the whole idea of the Matrix is.
Yeah. So there's this is so right. One of the references for it being the World Trade Center. So remember, prior to the 9/11, there was a crash in the World Trade Center. Yeah. There was a plane hit the World Trade Center. There was another World Trade Center. There was another Trade Center, not World Trade Center. I think it was in Chicago or something. I don't want to misquote this. Yeah. Where the same incident happened before. And that incident was proven to be an act from the US government, right?
Yeah.
These are all facts. It's all laid out facts, right? So when you've got that reality, does it then surprise you that when 9/11 did happen, not the bombing, there was one where the plane hit planes hit the building.
See, this is another one of those things. This is a good example of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Where I've also read things that this isn't true. The thing that you're saying.
Well, when the planes hit the building?
Yeah. The previous thing of it happening.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the
World thing that was existing to explain the conspiracy theory. This is the thing. There is so much information that everything becomes so confused.
It becomes so. But that's the thing. We lose the reality of what is real and what isn't. Which is, again, this is the whole point of what the Matrix is kind of understanding, well, not being able to understand, because we're so plugged into it, because we're so involved, we've been encapsulated, that's the word, Jesus Christ, encapsulated into this kind of, we were born into this reality, so we're so involved in it, it's so hard for us, unless someone literally takes us way out of it, it's hard for us to see that other side. The fact that our government, who are in reality meant to be protecting us, can actually be creating these simulations. It
kind of makes sense as well. It is a stimulation. It is creating an emotion in people.
Oh yeah, no,
that is the point. So stimulation wouldn't be the wrong term.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more of the actual simulations, of the actual actions they're taking.
Making someone scared so that they follow your leadership is a form of stimulation.
No,
so
fair enough. Okay, cool. Yeah,
I would argue that's actually probably more accurate than a simulation, because simulation is the thing that's not necessarily real, whereas where it's actually happened, then it is a stimulation.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'd go with that.
Right, stimulation is right. So they I nearly forgot my point. So they're creating these stimulations that basically it is. It's for certain cause and effect. Okay, let's not use the word trade center. Let's use Vietnam War, right?
Yeah.
Vietnam War was triggered by a false flag attack. So it's an attack that they said happened but never actually happened, right? This was the whole catalyst for a whole war. Millions of lives being lost.
Yeah.
You know, that's one reality was sold, but it was a lie. Right? And this is my whole point of kind of why is that unbelievable that certain things that, you know, we can't believe that the government's out to get us. We can't, because that's not possible. They're out to serve us, right? Why is it impossible to believe the other side of that?
Yeah.
Because...
And this is a lot of the idea to do with war in Iraq and stuff like that. The idea that there was so much to profit from in going there.
Yeah.
What if you said to the entire army of a country, we're going there so that you can make us money, everyone would turn against you. Whereas if you're going there to be heroes, then people are going to go along with it. Is that not essentially the kind of thing you're...
That is it. Yeah. That's them literally. They present one reality.
Yeah.
Because it's more suited to what we, I guess, need to be able to...
It's justification.
To justify. But again, if it's to bring it back again, these are all the things that the Matrix adheres to. This is what it makes these points of, like, this reality. Because even outside of the Matrix, so when he's unplugged and it goes to what's their city?
Zion,
right?
Yeah.
So Zion is a perfect example of how everything could start again.
Wonderful underground rave in a cave.
Yeah. So they've got
the reality we all want to live in.
Is there anything better?
It's such a weird scene.
It is. Well, no, it's actually, I think, one, if you talk about people who are unplugged, that's probably how people imagine them living in a cave underground somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, preferably probably wearing tin
the
hats.
underground culture to making it literal.
But they still had a hierarchy. You know, they still had people who were
they still literally had a pope balcony.
Yeah, where the guys
he literally stands on the side and tells the crowd what to do.
It's basically a cycle. Like, for me, that made a very good point where the council, the only reason they couldn't do anything, or, you know, they were looking for that one person who was able to break all boundaries, is because the council were living under the same realities that they came from. Yeah. That they needed this structure, they needed a government, they needed people to tell other people what to do, and blah, blah, blah. And it filtered down to the same thing, where the people who just lived in Zion didn't really know what was going on. Yeah. They were also living in their own miniature... Because they, like, come on, you've got ships outside your doors, literally about to blast in, and you're out there having a fucking little picnic, you know what I mean? Like, and that's
to bring it into another film, there is also the, like, Inception side of it, where it's a thing within a thing.
Yeah.
Wherein, who says that it ends, this is like what I was saying, there's always more to question, who says that Zion is the real version either? Yeah. That is easily just a second... fake version of it. It is a second false flag within its own thing. Yeah. That's it's quite interesting. Inception's another really interesting one. It's an impossible infinity. This is why I love psychology. Yeah. But this is exactly what it is. But I think, like, philosophical Matrix, psychology. Yeah, sorry. I like philosophy. Psychology is interesting. Philosophy is more... it is also psychology. That's it is. That's why I said philosophical psychology. I think I like the philosophy. Sort of a combination of both. Well, brain and the jaw maybe, but I like the philosophical side more so. Kind of the whole being a skeptic, being able to question the reality that we live in. Yeah. Because, and the Matrix is great for that. It's great for being able to look at all of these structures that we've been given and all of these, because before he's unplugged, he lives the very, essentially, again with Fight Club, right? Fight Club's very much about breaking realities and breaking from the norm that we've been presented as what is real. Tiny Durden is all about that. In fact, it's all about breaking away from what we've been taught is important or whatever. But in both of them, before they're unplugged, before they're introduced to this alien kind of entity, they live very normal and essentially really good lives where they've got a normal job, they've got a house, they've got all the things that we are told to adhere to grow up to want. Yeah. And it makes a really good point of saying
That's not life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not the reality. This is something that has been built for you to want, built for you to, you know, to go for. This is not how you should live in any sense. You could live like that if you want. Cool. But you should be aware that there's a whole different reality to things. There's a whole different ways of doing. You know, like, to be fair, he didn't have to be unplugged. He just had to go to a different city and see how, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like there was a different way of operating with it, and actually, Fight Club's a really good one for that as well. Actually,
Yeah.
Thinking about it, because Tyler
Especially
Durden's,
in terms of the like lies and the hypocrisy, which is what I talked about when we did the episode about Fight Club.
Yeah.
How the idea of him saying that you don't need to work out and be vain while he's like a good-looking, ripped bloke and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then
is kind of the same point, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's similar to the people of Zion, all the leaders telling everyone
They
need
don't
to be
need a
freed
leader
from...
while telling them what to do.
Exactly, exactly that. And Neo being that one, in essentially a renegade. You know, like, no, it's a renegade I'm looking for. A little bit, because he's a one-man army in a sense. You know, he's someone, he takes it into his own hands. And, like, he creates, in essence, same way as Tyler Durden does, his own reality.
Yeah.
This is how I see
Because
things.
even in explaining a different version of how things could be, you are creating another version of how things could be. Because as much as in Fight Club, Tyler Durden is saying, you don't need to be materialistic, you don't need all of these things, he then brings them in and sets them new rules.
Yeah.
So he's saying you don't need to listen to society's rules, you don't need to be involved in that set of rules, but then when they show up, he gives them literally an entire different set of rules.
This is exactly how you should operate under ours,
Which is kind of how, in reality, things like that, that's how dictatorship works and stuff like that, and that's what false flags and following anyone is, that is what that concept is. It's telling people that that's bad and scary. I'm going to show you what's not bad and scary by doing the exact same thing in different terms. And, same thing that happens with religion. There are so many religions that are literally the same religion, just with different figureheads.
Do you know what?
And saying that version of it's bad and scary and makes bad people.
Do you know what?
Do this one that's literally got one thing different about it, but it's totally cool.
Do you know what I just realised?
What?
How have we skipped over religion?
Yeah, that's
religion
kind
is
of a
the
big
exact...
part of... It's the same thing.
It is.
The
You know,
Matrix
but even-
applies to a lot of things because it's conceptual to the degree where it's just going, here's the simplified terms version of it.
Yeah. Well, no, but you know what? I feel like religion is a different matrix kind of trying to plug you in, right? Because it's essentially saying they're religious books. So remember when you said what if it was just one pill saying you either know everything or you die?
Yeah.
I feel like in a sense that's what religion's like, where it's like, this is the book that'll give you
You've
of the
got
truth.
Commit to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then anything else past that
Everything but
is
this
a
is
lie.
wrong.
And
Yeah.
it's wrong, and essentially you shouldn't live. You shouldn't, wow.
That's why I always
yeah.
I personally, like, as much as it's nice to really believe in something,
Yeah.
I personally prefer hearing people say that they pick and choose from things, because I think that's how it should be. People that are into loads of different religions and stuff like that, you can say it's hypocritical because they're conflicting ideologies, but those people are taking the bits of it that they think are right and justified. And I think that's a better way to live than to go, if I'm taking part of this, I'm taking the whole thing.
Yeah.
If instead of a pill, it was a cake, and you had the choice between having a slice or eating the whole cake, would it not be better to take the best looking slice and then go and eat some different cakes, rather than committing to only ever eating that cake?
No, see, that's a really good analogy for it. But don't you think then that within that, that's actually, I don't know, I feel like that's not, I want to say it's unfair, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But I think like that's quite a you can't pick and choose reality, if you get what I mean. So you've got a cake, right? And hate to come against it, because I think it's a really good analogy for it. But you've got this cake, right? You've had one slice. I don't like this cake.
Yeah,
I don't want no more of this cake. But now you've taken a slice out of that cake. I don't know. It's a weird way to explain it. You've taken a slice out of that cake. You don't like this cake, right? But there are people who they don't get an option of a slice or the whole cake.
yeah.
They have to eat this cake. that cake. They have to eat that cake.
I think
if you
it
don't
depends
like that.
on what the circumstances you're trying to
does,
explain.
no, it
In
does,
terms
it
of
does, it
religion,
does.
I don't think you have to have the whole thing. I think you might be told to eat the whole cake. That doesn't mean you have to eat the whole cake.
I mean, that one I feel would be more of a human construct. So when you look at
I
certain
think a lot of
countries,
the way that religion is treated is telling you that there is only one type of cake.
there's only one type of cake, and
It's telling you there is only chocolate cake. Carrot cake doesn't exist.
yeah,
The people that eat carrot cake are bad.
yeah.
But I think that...
But essentially,
And why you might not... Why you might be someone who is in a position where all that's around you is chocolate cake, as long as you know that carrot cake exists, you have the option of one day having a slice of carrot cake.
great idea. That was so good.
Because eventually you might learn how to make carrot cake
yourself. Yeah. You can
So
make
I
reality
think personally,
again,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter what reality you're in. I think you always have the choice to
Yeah.
not partake in it,
And-
even if you end up hungry,
Yeah.
even if you end up starving.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in it, don't eat the fucking cake.
Don't eat the fucking cake. Right. But you know what? One thing you did point that you touched on that, which I think is very important, and again, bringing it back to the Matrix, is what it's all about, is knowing that
Yeah.
carrot cake exists.
Yeah.
You have to know before you could even like have a concept that there's anything but chocolate cake. You have to know that carrot cake exists.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to have this inkling of
You
there's
have to-
another idea.
you-
I suppose that is the other side of it. If you're only ever shown chocolate cake, then that's the only cake you're aware of existing.
Yeah. And that's the only cake you're ever going to eat.
Yeah.
And the
There
Matrix
are
is telling you-
people that are in that position, but they still don't have to eat the whole cake.
No, you're right. You don't have to be a pig about everything.
Even if you're in literally like the strictest version of a society where there is all these things that you have to do, you can't do an alternate option.
Yeah.
There are all these things you have to do. There are a certain way of doing everything. If you disagree with a part of it, you just don't do that part of it. You don't have to do everything. It would be a very fucked up existence if you. It would have to be like how we're told North Korea is, to be in that situation where you don't have another option.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because even if you were in something like that, if we are saying that how we're told, because we don't actually really know, you and me don't know what North Korea is actually like.
But
how
also,
we're told North Korea is essentially the world where there is only chocolate cake and they're not told about other cakes.
Yeah.
But they have people that come in who have experienced other cakes, but they don't know about that. But these people that live there don't have to eat the whole cake. They don't have to really believe in it. They just have to eat enough of the cake that people leave them alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Eat enough cake
yeah,
to survive.
Yeah.
Is I suppose the point I'm trying to make. If you don't believe in a thing, you don't have to do it because you're told you have to do it. You can take the parts of it.
Yeah, you can pick and choose, but I think that what the point of the Matrix
has gone deep.
It's gone really deep, but what the Matrix really gives you is the fact that you do that once you're open. No, actually, what it gives you is
That's a separate thing from what I'm saying.
I think it's quite similar to the point where. So say like you've been told your
using
whole
cake
life.
then as an analogy
for
for
religion.
being involved in a thing.
Yeah.
If you're talking about being aware of a thing, then that's a different. That's the two cakes.
Fair.
That's
You're
not
right,
eating
you're
the
right.
different
Yeah,
slices.
yeah,
You've gone into the wrong part of the analogy.
Yeah, you're right.
From that perspective, that is choosing to know that carrot cake exists, but never being able to have it.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what that is. That's what the two
that's
pills
torture,
is.
Isn't it? That is torture.
Yeah,
that is torture. Yeah, you're right.
Even in the this is why you wouldn't. This is why the pills work, because it's not just you can go back to normal life. It's you can go back to life and you'll forget that all this happened.
Yeah.
If it was you go back to life, but you'll always know that there was another reality, that's an entirely different question. If you only were given chocolate cake, but you knew that carrot cake existed, that would be torturous.
Yeah, you'd be like,
whereas,
shit, I want carrot cake.
Then
now.
you'd exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas if you never knew that the carrot cake existed,
okay,
that's a different thing.
Yeah. But then you've never heard of this carrot cake.
Wait, we ain't even got into the lemon drizzle yet.
Cheesecakes are a whole different day. But see, right. Let's just, you've only been shown this carrot
It's
cake.
like the Great British Bake Off of life.
Yeah.
Has your life got a soggy bottom? That's what we need to know.
Wow, that sounds like it should be in a different kind of watershed. Wow. So basically, right, you've only, and this is my thing about certain people just discounting things. Like, I'm not a big fan of conspiracy nuts, because I think like there's probably something wrong with you where you want to escape reality so much.
Yeah,
but
I
also,
do think some of it is contrarianism. It is wanting to find some escape from reality, so really truly believing in something alternative just for the sake of doing it.
But I also don't agree with not researching conspiracy theories.
No.
If someone gives me a conspiracy theory, chances are I will Google it.
You look into it.
I will look into it. Which, for me, is someone saying, look, I know you love your chocolate cake, and we all like chocolate cake.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, dude, they either put something in that chocolate cake, you should try this double chocolate cake.
Yeah.
You know? And then, I don't know how someone's going to be like, nah, fuck that. There's no such thing as double chocolate.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's already 100% chocolate. How can you double the chocolate?
How can you double this shit? No,
that's the reality of it.
Well,
because double chocolate isn't double chocolate.
It's more.
Because that would be two cakes.
No, it's more.
It's
chocolate.
just two different kinds of chocolate.
Two different. Well, there we go.
Really, it's half the amount of chocolate that you originally had.
You've ruined this. You've ruined it. But what I'm saying is though, would you not want to taste that other chocolate? Would you not, for 1 second, just be like, I'm going to put this cake away?
Oh, 100%. If somebody said that there was different kinds of icing I could put on this cake,
yeah,
you would at least have a look into the concept of it. I agree with that. If I had time to research every conspiracy theory that I saw,
ain't nobody got time for that.
No. if I could not only look into it, but could understand it to a degree where I could have proof of a thing, I would.
Yeah.
But I can't. I don't have time for that. I've got things to do. I've got a podcast
Things you've been told to do.
No, I chose to do this podcast.
Yeah, this is really actually part of our spare time. So that's a fair point. But I don't know. There are other ways to live, and films like The Matrix. I wish I had other films I could just quote straight away. Fight Club is a good example as well, because it's very much about changing the norm.
There's a lot of films.
I think The Hunger Games.
Really?
Well, with the structure. So
I suppose,
I was on the train the other
in
day.
terms of their society.
Yeah. So I was on the train the other day, and this is really, really interesting. Actually, you know that scene where they're traveling from each district into the centre, right?
No.
Okay, cool. So, but obviously, you know about the districts.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the end, and then obviously it goes.
District 9, where the South African aliens are.
South African. Terrible. Great film, though. It's a really good film. Yeah. It's the same people that make Chappie in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same director, yeah.
Yeah, great films. But anyways, in the Hunger Games, like, obviously...
is it? It might not be.
The more districts, the higher the number of the districts, so District 9 is the more derelict.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so the District 9 is more derelict. District 1 is obviously the utopia of things, right? What?
You said District 9 was more derelict. I was going to say, yeah, it was. It was quite bleak.
Stop.
And then he didn't turn into no fucking prawn. Wow. He's not one of those creatures.
Wow, that's not bad, you know.
I know, thanks.
Yeah, it's good. I like his accent in Champion as well. What's it called? Have you ever, like, you've taken a train into, like, Liverpool Street, right?
Yeah.
You've taken overground to Liverpool Street. The
TfL rail.
Do you not see it, though? Do you not see the constant... how everything just gets better the closer you get to Liverpool Street.
It's because it's a hub.
Well, no, but it's a very good. It's a very, like, I feel like it was a really good reflection of the society, the reality that we lived in, where we accept that.
Also, you're really slagging off Shenfield here.
What?
The other end of the line.
No, I mean, my reality from it is from Romford to Liverpool
exactly,
Street,
because you don't have the perception of Shenfield's existence.
No, I'm like District 4.
That's
right
where the
now,
carrot
man.
cake is. You're just going towards the chocolate.
No, I'm going straight for the double chocolate, mate. It's double chocolate.
Yeah, but, the idea of.
Well, like, for me,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but for me, basically, having that structure, Hunger Games tells you to question that and to not be happy with that. And I'm with that, because I don't think it's right that only one bit of London looks really nice.
That's more specifically about austerity.
Yeah,
that's what Hunger Games is about.
Oh no, of course, yeah, that's more direct to that.
Poor people do stuff for their entertainment. Actually, it's kind of about reality TV, like a lot of things.
Oh,
it is essentially like rich
reality.
people watching like Jersey Shore and stuff like that. Yeah. It's these people that don't have that much money, being on TV so that they can earn money, so that people can laugh at them doing stupid things.
Yeah.
Like,
Hunger Games,
essentially, Jersey Shore is exactly like the Hunger Games. I've never really thought about that, but it kind of is.
Wow.
Because they go... The more they're on it, the more money they give them, and they dress them up and stuff like that, which is literally a thing that happens in the Hunger Games.
They put them in situations, same thing.
They give them like branding and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is
Wow,
interesting.
is Jersey Shore secretly about capitalism?
Wow. I've just been looking at it the wrong way. See? This is what happens.
It's really not. Hunger Games is.
Yeah,
but,
no. Jersey Shore is not as deep as anything. it's not deep at all. But no, that's great. That's great. Because so many films do it. But The Matrix is a great kind of, for me, reflection of social conditioning. And being able to kind of look past the norm. The reality we've been given.
Well, obviously that is the point.
It is the
That's
point.
what the whole film is about.
No, but I don't know. Like you get certain mediums don't do it that well because they're so straightforward with it. And I feel with something like that, you can't be straight. Like, because if The Matrix was presented to you as, look, your whole reality is a lie. There's this whole different thing happening. Come with me. It's just going to be a crazy conspiracy. Like, that's all that's happening there. Yeah, I like the way they approached it, and it's really good, really good. And people, if someone watches The Matrix again, really look at the programs, the dynamics of the programs, and what they do,
how
and who they are.
together.
Yeah, because it's so interesting.
It is very easy to get caught up just in like the action side of it, and not why all the things are put together. Yeah, and you have to understand the whole conquest for Agent Smith. Really, that itself is part of its own. That's quite hypocritical, isn't it? Really,
what
the fighting in the Matrix is a distraction.
Yeah,
from the fact that you're actually supposed to be learning something.
Yeah,
because that's the entertainment.
Sugarcoat it. Yeah. That's how we're giving things these days. And that's the woman.
Because you probably wouldn't. Most people wouldn't go and see The Matrix if it didn't have that side to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is that's a really good point. No one. The Matrix is really interesting past the fighting, but most people remember, the iconic scene of him dodging the bullets.
Yeah.
That's what we remember, but you have to break that film down because it's deep. It's like I think it's so deep and clever. Like really clever.
A lot of people have. There are many books written about it.
Of course. It's, but I think for the masses, people need to also be able to look at it in that way, and anything really, because like you said, there's a lot of artistic, we talk about television and things like that. There's a lot of art out there that is written for more than entertainment. Yeah, that have really deep messages. Yeah, like Animal Farm. There's way more to it than fucking. Yeah. Pigs and fucking chickens and cows in a park. The farm. It's called Animal Farm. When I said park. Well, that there's
was the sequel. Animal Park.
Animal Park. There's them going wild. They're just
mostly about pigeons.
Jesus Christ, fucking rats with wings. But yeah, I'm imploring people to have these kind of
to watch it again and think a little bit more about it.
A lot deeper into it. Yeah. Angles.
Cool. So, have you got any shout-outs?
I want to shout out...
Other than The Matrix.
So, Brain in the Vat was by Rene Descartes, right? And also, the original experiment would be Gilbert Harman. So, they're both philosophists. Yeah. They're also scientists as well. Yeah. Just look at what they've done if you're interested in that stuff. Check it out. Yeah. There was a book... There was a book, actually. I can't remember who the author is, but it's 50 philosophical theories. And, when I read that book, it really, because I think philosophy is something that we should all be aware of just kind of, a lot of it, like you said, I know you don't really, it sounds like you don't really agree with most of it, which is because a lot of philosophy is just questioning for the sake of questioning. It's kind of...
No, it's not, not that you think you've got that completely wrong. No, it's not that I disagree with that. Yeah. I entirely endorse questioning things. I love philosophy. Yeah. I think you should question things in general. What I was trying to say was, if you question something to the degree where you can't fathom the answer, there's no point in you questioning it.
Okay.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
philosophy
like it,
in
yeah.
itself.
Yeah, yeah.
The
That's quite
idea,
interesting.
I have two main philosophies that I
Yeah.
think people should pay attention to.
Yeah,
Okay?
come on, educate us.
Right. One of them is that what I've been saying, that if you are questioning something to a degree where even if you got an answer to it, you couldn't fathom it.
Yeah.
Then there's no point in questioning
that's
it.
a good fathom it. That's
Yeah.
okay. It's the word
Because
that I should have
it's
focused on that.
if the answer is something that you're never going to understand, then you're wasting your time spending time questioning it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I always think, that I thought when I was a kid and wrote down on something, I've still got the book somewhere that says it on it. Anytime you question anything, you've already started questioning it. So anytime you have to make a decision, the first decision you've made is deciding whether to decide about something.
Yeah, okay.
That is another philosophical thing that I think
that one's just gonna kill me.
Yeah.
It's like
if at any point you say to yourself, maybe I should do this, then you probably should do it because you've got into a situation where you've considered that you should do that.
That's good.
Those are my two things.
That's good.
That's my philosophy.
See, that's the kind of philosophy that gets shit done. That's the shit that gets, that second one especially, that gets shit done. Like, should I do this? Yeah! Because you just asked to do it. Yeah, that's good. Cool.
My shout out, I'm just going to give... I've not actually read it yet, which is kind of shit. I've read one of his other books, though. The documentary writer, essentially, John Ronson, The Psychopath Test is really good and is about psychopaths, obviously, and about Bob Hare's... So there was a psychologist called Bob Hare who made a list of how to check if someone's a psychopath.
Oh, yeah.
And it's literally Bob Hare's checklist, and you go through and you check everything. But he also has a book about conspiracy theories called Them, which I want to read. Yeah, and that has stuff about David Icke. David Icke is also in Psychopath Test. There is a thing about whether David Icke
is a psychopath or not.
Is a psychopath, and also David Shaler. There's a few really interesting people.
Cool.
So as much as I can't say Them is definitely a good book because I haven't read it yet, I'm planning to. I can tell you that the Psychopath Test is very good, and it is about some very interesting people and judging, but it is also the same thing of opening your eyes. There is a point in it, because he is writing it entirely from his perspective, there is a point in it where he says, now that I know about the Psychopath Test, I question whether everyone is the psychopath and whether I'm a psychopath because I can judge them by this test. So there is kind of a link to it through that for this, but Them is about conspiracy and stuff like that. So yeah, John Ronson in general, I'd like to shout out because I think he's a really good writer and he makes some interesting. He also wrote The Men That Stare at Goats, which is there's a film based on that.
Yeah, isn't that a comedy?
It's quite successful. Kind of. They made it sort of funny, but it's about an actual thing that happened.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Definitely look at that.
Cool.
If you want to hear more from me, you can go on YouTube and search Renegade Pineapple. If you want to hear more from SG, you can go soundcloud.com/Mr. Souls without a U in it. And you can get links to everything else from that. If you want more from this podcast, we are on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. But you should subscribe, tell other people about it, and give us ratings on iTunes. Telling other people about it is still the best thing you can do because we need more people to listen. And if you like what we've talked about, then you should tell people about it so that more people can learn about it.
Should I give them an example?
Give them the cake.
Hey, you know what? I was listening to this podcast the other day. It's called A Wonderful Waste of Time. It's really interesting.
What you need to go to people is go, I listened to this podcast that was called A Wonderful Waste of Time, and you know what? It wasn't a waste of time.
It was wonderful, though.
You could say that it might have been a waste of time, but if it was a really wonderful waste of time. That's what. So you got that, people. That's what you say to people. That's that your whole script. Thing.
That's just get the spiel right and tell your friend.
Yeah, cool. Definitely help us get out there.
Yes.
What's your question of the day?
The question of the day is...
I feel like it's going to be deep.
No. I was going to say, actually... the cakes? Yeah, it was going to be. I was going to say...
What's your favourite cake?
Nah, that's too light-hearted. What would you like to be presented? Rather than pills, what would you rather? 2 oranges? 2 apples? This red apple.
Yeah, red apples or green apples.
Hey. Yeah. This tangerine or this nectarine.
Those are two very different. Those are different fruits. Tangerine and
they're both oranges, aren't they?
Nectarine.
Oh, nectarine's like a peach, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
More like a peach.
Damn.
Or,
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Tangerine or a mandarin.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good.
That's a weird question.
What would you rather be presented?
Which pill would you take?
Oh yeah, there's that. That's a good
if it was
question.
my question,
Yeah.
if it was whether you know everything or you die, which pill would you take?
Fucking hell.
That's what I want to know.
That's crazy. I don't want to die, but do you want to know everything?
Exactly.
Do you want to know everything?
No, but if you
That's
knew
crazy.
the reality of the world or you die, which would you say? Would you live in ignorance that gets to definitely have life, or would you gamble and possibly know the reality of the world?
Do you know what though? I reckon if we knew the reality of the world, we'd probably all just die anyway.
Or make it easier, you get to be your ideal version of yourself, or you die.
Oh,
You get to have everything you've ever wanted, or death.
boring.
Why is that boring?
Why would you get everything?
Which
you
would
ever
you do,
wanted?
but you don't know which one it's going to do? Do you take that risk?
Oh, you don't know? Oh,
It is
it's one pill.
It's one pill.
Fucking
Is
hell.
getting everything you've ever wanted
hell.
worth the risk of having nothing at all?
Nothing at all. So it's either you take this pill, you walk away and have a normal life.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's good.
The nihilist
That's
in me
good,
says
yeah.
you take the pill anyway,
Take the
because
pill.
if you're not going to
Take
get
the pill,
everything
yeah.
you want, maybe you
Yeah.
should be dead.
I'll take the pill though, 'cause that's fucking exciting. It's either you fulfill everything in life or you die, which is basically the same thing. It's either, because if you haven't fulfilled anything in life,
But
you're
if you
dead.
get everything,
yeah,
then surely you'd end up with
you've
like
got nothing to live
paradise syndrome.
for. Yeah, but you got nothing to live for. Yeah,
Exactly, that's what paradise syndrome is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, this is deep.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be deep. I just wanted to know what food people liked. But there we go.
That's it for this episode. Next time we'll be making a top 5 of cakes. We won't be doing of cakes. And then the next time we go back to doing one of these, we won't do a whole podcast on one film.
We won't.
Though it works out quite well. I think we talked
Yeah.
about some interesting stuff. There is definitely a lot of...
It's
I
the
like
Matrix
talking
is
about
so
philosophy.
interesting.
I just like to do it with some different films other than The Matrix.
Yeah, I know,
Because I think
I
The
know.
Matrix is a film that has very much been looked into.
Okay.
I think the world has it covered.
I'll bring some new films to the table.
Good.
I'll bring some new films to the table.
That's it for this episode. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's a wonderful waste of time.